Hey everyone, today we're working on updating the wiring in the boat, and I'm going to try to document that as much as I can. I write down a little bit, but I'll show you what we got. Let me switch this around. Alright, here we are. We have our fuse panel. I put in some white PVC board in here to have something to mount to. Got our grounded bus bar here, mounted in. Here's our duplex wire that I re-ran through the rigging tube. I messed up and got red and yellow instead of red and black, so we're gonna use the yellow as the ground. Got my tags, live well 1, live well 2, and bilge, labeled as ground. And here's my hots. And they're all rammed to the back of the boat. I got these all hooked up yesterday, or last night rather, and here's what the bilge looks like. Here's my coils. There's live well 1 pump to the left, live well 2 to the right, bilge at the bottom. I'm going to be getting some cable hangers to screw in here above each of the pumps to have the coils that I have right there nice and tidy. We got here's one compartment here, looking a little bit more fresh than it did before. Not so bad. Eventually, right now the motor battery stays in here. Those are the cables right there for the motor. But afterwards, later on, I'll be running the cable from the motor under the floor and having that battery, the motor engine battery, along with the house battery under the center console. Right now we're gonna have the house battery underneath here. I pulled the floor out, pulled out the fuel tank to give good access to all this stuff and have plenty of room. But what we got so far, I'm gonna set you guys up on the tripod and let you guys watch how we do it. Got my partner in crime, let's get busy. My fittings here are marine heat shrinked, regular eye connection. Fittings up there, same thing, eye connectors with marine heat shrink. You can see you're gonna see the stuff coming out the bottom. Trying to protect as much as we can. We're gonna run, this is for our anchor light, or I'm sorry, our running lights. So we're gonna tie up and run that right now. All right, there's our wire. Just need to button it up, run through those zip ties. Here's a shot of what the wiring looked like. As you can see, it was a mess and just everywhere. And now it looks much better. Here are my conditions on how I was working. Using one of my kids' little toys as my seat, had wheels on it so I could roll it out of the center console. Gotta work with what you got. Hey y'all, here we are. Here's our new switch panel. I'm at my desk taking a break with work, but this just came in the mail, and we are working on getting this set up to work for our boat. Looks really good. Switches feel good. It's got a 12 volt, and then it's got an actual cigarette lighter. Here's a USB-C, USB port, a real cigarette lighter, which is kind of, I don't know. But it's got technically two cigarette lighter ports, and then a volt gauge. Now, back of this thing, already kind of got it pulled out. This is how it works. Now, flip it up so y'all can see. 1 second here. Yeah, so here, get this thing. I am ripping this thing to pieces at the moment, so we can have it function for what we need it to function to. Here we are. Here's one I've already pulled off. Bear with me, guys. I know the camera's shaky. All right, now, each of these components here are fused. You can see here's the fuse for this one. It tails out. This one tails out, tails out. I pulled that one off. It was connected to the voltmeter. It tailed off. And they were jumped. Here's the spade jumper that was attached to here. It jumped over, hit switch 1, switch 2. This one had a jumper, which is right here. It jumped over, hit switch 3, switch 4. You can see it here. Jumps over, hit switches 5, 6, jumps over, 7, and 8. This is not what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna keep my fuses for these top components here. And we are going to have each switch fused individually. I'm gonna be using the first 6. And the way it's gonna work for us is we're gonna have, come in here real quick. So this top component is your power in, bottom is your power out. These are your grounds. So this is the main ground. This is your like regular illumination light ground. And here is your line light ground or power. So there's 2 powers. There's a 5-pin switch. The line light is this little guy right here. And we'll show more whenever we get on the boat. That's just your illumination. Another thing we're gonna do is a little different. I don't want all these on whenever I plug this in, because right now we haven't run a power switch yet. I'm going to have the power coming in, and whenever the switch is on, when you turn the switch, power's coming in, switch turns on, power goes out. I'm going to add a jumper from the power out on this first pin, and it's going to jump over to here. Actually, no, I'm sorry. This is going to be my power on switch, my first switch in the gang, which will actually be this one over here. But for clarity, my first switch in my 8 switch panel is going to be my power on for all the switches. So my power is going to come in from my fuse for power on. It's going to come here for power out, jump over here, and then be in the daisy chain to click it on and illuminate all the switches on the panel. Now, I'm doing that so that way we can kill this and it turns everything off on here, and we're not rolling down the road with our switches lit up. And as I mentioned before, I'm putting a kill switch on the, not a kill switch, but a disconnect switch on the boat for all of our auxiliary stuff. And that will also do that, but I'm going to be hardwiring it to a battery temporarily until I get that installed. Now, this will be going to the main switch, our first fuse on this fuse panel. Power comes out, goes to the top pin, power goes out. Gonna be a jumper here, very similar to this connection here. Be a spade jumper, so I can get that to focus for you guys, just like so. This will be connected right here, attach the jumper, jump right across, and then all this will stay intact right here. And that's just our illumination. But we're just pulling all this stuff off and I won't bore you guys with that. I'll probably show a little bit of it. These things are kind of a pain to get off. I'm already kind of getting frustrated with how it's put together. It's kind of cheap how it's put together. I'm gonna check and see if these are heat shrink. I don't think that they are, but I went to pull the negative off of the battery gauge, and it's sloppy. I mean, that's after I tried to pull that off, and it's trying to pull the pin out. It still works. I'm gonna order a new one of these and replace it and go from there. But I'll probably wrap this thing in electrical tape or something. I don't like how it's all exposed. I have some heat shrink that might be big enough to fit on that marine grade, this cigarette lighter, just to give it some protection. Yeah, guys, here's our switch panel. Hopefully have it in the boat. You'll see me, I'll do the install tonight. Looks really good. Excited about it. And just want to show you guys what we're having to do to make it work for us, because I want each of these fused. I don't want these fuses in play. And what we also might do is to power these on. I might have these on a switch too, on the same switch. So our main power comes in here, comes here, jumps over, comes here and jumps over. There's no jumpers in here. They just put two wires together, which I think I'm gonna do that, and then add a jumper here to jump over and hit all 4 of my fuses here. So I'll have all these daisy chained together, and usually 3 of them. I'll just have these all wrapped up together, have a nice connection, do a solder seal connection, and that way we'll have key on, or power switch on, and it lights up everything on this panel, including our chargers, voltmeter, and all that good stuff. And then we're not using the boat, kick it off, and we're done. Stay tuned, guys. All right, well, we got it cleaned up. Nothing changed here. I just hooked it up a little bit ago. I'll show you what we did here. Really clean this thing up. Let me flip it this way so you can see. So here oh yeah, this is fine. Here we go. So here's our fuses, right? I left the fuses in place. Fuses back for the voltmeter, cigarette lighter, phone charger, and then other cigarette lighter style option. They're all fused. I'm not going to worry about wiring these my fuse panel and take advantage of these fuses here to zip tie them up and have them on the back of the console and minimize using up my fuse space. What we did was removed all the ports off the pins. Remember, this pin is power coming in from your fuse panel, power going out to your component. Over here, this jumbo mess here, we have our power coming in from our fuse panel right here. This first tab that comes in, and then we have power. Get a pencil so I can show you guys. We have power going out off of this tab right here. This is one pin, and I did 2 piggybacks off of it. So power coming out, jumping over to illuminate the light, the little slip of light on each of these, and then power jumping out to power the fuses and power these components over here. Now, this is the power indicator showing that the light strip is on. So we have main power in, power from the switch being toggled on comes from here, hits here, lights this switch up entirely, and then lights up the strip. So when the power, we'll show you this on the boat too, when the power, whenever I flip the switch on, both LEDs come on. And then all of these LEDs down here at the bottom light up. And then as I cycle through each component, these will kick on as we go through. But this is a clear indication we have our switch on. So switch power on, both lights come on. Power off, kills the entire panel, and it kills these up here. We will have to replace this. It has a short already out of the box. The ground terminal came loose when I tried to pull it out. We're gonna have to get a new one and replace this voltmeter. Might get rid of this too. I'm not sure if I need a cigarette lighter, but I don't smoke. So anyway, but yeah, we got this all wired up, cleaned it up quite a bit. Now it's pretty straightforward. This is we're gonna make this tail significantly longer to ground out to our ground bar on the boat. We're gonna make the power tail significantly longer too, because this is gonna go to its own fuse. Next shot, we'll be in the boat. Okay. We have got our switch panel. I had to make a faceplate for the center console because this panel is longer but skinnier. My old one was like almost like a square. We had to make a faceplate, cover up the old hole, put a new hole in the new faceplate, cut out a little bit of the existing console, mount this bad boy in there. I got the faceplate behind me drying on a bucket. Right now, we've got everything in here like we discussed earlier in our previous shot. Right now I'm going to make all of my jumpers that go from the fuse panel up to the switch. As I said, I was planning on using the old switches before because they actually work. They're 24-year-old switches and they still function and lit up. I was super shocked about that. Well, that's where this came from. I made some leaders going from the fuse panel up to my switch. And now that I've got the new switch panel, I'm going to abandon these, and I got some Red Ancor marine grade wire. So we got 16 gauge red marine wire to run all of our drops from the fuse panel up to our switches. We're not running anything big power. This is all going to be our live well, our 2 live wells, our bilge, which isn't, I think it's 750 gallons per hour, which isn't high enough to be pulling a whole lot of draw, and our horn. Got our horn in, start over there. And but yeah, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna add 6 inches to this. I'm gonna cut all my leads. Okay, we've got our main power for the entire switch, our bilge, live well 1, live well 2, anchor light, horn. So we're going to be using up 6 of our switches, which is cool. I have 2 left. I'm planning on doing courtesy lights and live well lights. That's the plan. Let's get these situated, get our anchor connectors snapped on here, and start running some wire. Little trick when you're using good wire cutters to strip your wire. These are Knipex. Whenever you strip it, you'll push, you'll feel it sink into the insulation. Strip right off. A good pair of wire cutters are essential. Alright, get all of our ends cut. Now, let's crimp on our spade connectors. Alright guys, there's all of our leaders here to go from our fuse panel to our switch. The reason why they're so long is because I'm running it up the center console, and it's kind of an odd route and it looks really clean. That's why I need a little bit longer. And some of them don't need to be this long. I don't need the longest one to keep it simple. And yeah, I'm gonna run inside, hang out with the family for a little while, get these cables labeled. I won't bore y'all with that. I'm just literally using some frog tape, running on there, taping it off, cutting it, sticking on my cable, and rolling with it. Back later. Here's our fuse panel. Here's our ground bar. We already have our stuff run. These are our cables to our components. The unmarked one here is our anchor, live well 1, live well 2, and bilge. And then we'll be doing the horn and all that good stuff. So, let's jump into this. We're using these 3M tabs here to run our zip ties through to create loops. And these things are working really well. It's really nice on the organization of the cables. It comes with these screws too. So I'm putting the 3M here because we're going to be doing a lot of saltwater fishing. Saltwater destroys everything. These 3M pads are pretty good. They are pretty sticky, but I'm putting one screw in too to hold it in place, just in case they decide to like lose their adhesive compound from over time. Use zip ties. Got this kit on Amazon too. I'll put a link in the description below for what packet I got. Help you guys out. Really cool. I'll be using it for several different projects. I was watching Born Again Boating, and that guy, man, his wiring looked awesome. That's where a lot of my inspiration is coming from for this project. I am also a little OCD. That's why his look is so nice, so tidy. A lot of this stuff here has to do with the outboard, and it's all on the main battery cables for the outboard. Speedometer, RPM gauge, all that stuff. And I just kind of put that up and out of the way for now because I'm not messing with that yet. We will be repowering the boat eventually, but we're using the Johnson for a while. When we do that, we'll get all this cleaned up too. In the meantime, this is something that we're not going to have to redo. I hope not. And I wanted to do it right. If I decide to add components later, shouldn't be a problem. I'm just trying to keep it nice and neat. We will be expanding this fuse block. I'm going to get the bigger one, and we have plenty of room to mount it here. These are loose enough. I can just cut my zip ties if I need to. Should have given myself plenty of extra cable here to be able to adjust. Have yourself plenty of zip ties, because just like this, you'll be cutting them. All right, here's our 6 runs from our fuse. We have only 4 right now. We're going to add 5. We have to put the horn in, which is mounting right here. out some. Here's where we are. Here's our fuse panel. Here's our ground block. Yellow is our ground in here. I messed up, like I said. I bought the wrong color, which is all right. Here's what it is. But I'm using yellow everywhere as our ground. Should be pretty obvious. Yeah, here we go. So I gotta trim these tabs off. I'm not done with them yet. Gotta hook our power up. I'll do that here in a minute. Or not tonight, we'll do it tomorrow. I'm gonna put the switch panel in. Yeah, so here's our rigging. So here, I'm leaving this in here. This is what I'm gonna be using to rig my fish finder. That we decided to get it. This is running all the way down my rigging tube and out over there. I have it coiled up over there too. And so here's where our cables come in. Have them snaked up. Have them clamped up nice to the side, runs to the back here. Here's where the grounds and the negatives, positive and negative, split off from our home runs. Grounds go up and over, come down here, hit this loop, terminate here for our ground. The hots come over here. You can kind of see here's the bundle. So here's our ground, or our hots from our components. They come over here on this bundle here, and that's these wires here. And there it is labeled whatever the components are. Bilge pump, live well 1, live well 2. This is the anchor light, which isn't labeled yet. Just ran that this afternoon. And then the hots coming from our fuse, they run up here, tag into here, come across, bundle here, bundle right there. I gotta tighten that one up. And they have, live well 1 power, live well 2 power, bilge power, horn power, switch panel power, and so that's how they're labeled, just to keep track of everything. Yeah, looking nice and neat. Really nice. Looking really good. Really happy with it. Well, we got everything installed, which is really nice. I had some trouble with this. I pre-drilled the holes here, and I broke 2 screws here and 2 screws up here. Jeez Louise. Tried to pull my steering wheel off, but I couldn't get my pulley puller to work. Anywho, got it fixed up. Doesn't look as nice as I was hoping for, but we got some PVC board to adjust our hole, caulked around the top and the edges here. And this has a gasket, weather seal gasket. Looks really good. It works, everything functions. We'll show you that here in a minute. Here's underneath. Got everything buttoned up, nice and tight. Looks really nice. Our loop system for our negative. There's our tab to hook to the battery. There's our hot for the battery. Here's all our tubing, and here's our rigging coming out of the tube. Here's where it goes. And then flip y'all around. And here's how it looks over here. Nice and tight. Really nice. Super happy with how it come out. Got our horn hooked up. It works too. You see there, that powers on all our bottom switches. And that's strictly for the illumination. And this powering on powers on these components up here. And you can see the USB's lit up. See there? See the light coming on. So that's what the main power button does. These will still power on because they're fused down underneath on the fuse block. So you can see that kicks on live well. That's bilge, live well. And then honk the horn with that. So all of these still work without this being on. If it's nighttime, click these on, all these light up, and then even if it's not nighttime, you click this on to power up these components up top. If you don't want them on, don't want this pulling power, click that off, shuts these off, and we're all set. I also changed, instead of having all the fuses that were on the panel coming off of this switch, I have these two fuses coming off of this power, and then these two fuses coming off of the horn power. It's same thing, comes off the same wire. I just have a jumper it off of the power on over here. So that way it's pulling power from 2 separate places instead of all 4 coming from this one. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Drop me a like, subscribe. See you next one. Later.